Okay, so we are here going to make a really fun project come together. And what I'm doing here is I'm carving floral foam. This foam here holds a lot of water, and florists use it for doing flower displays and that sort of thing. And it really is actually very easy to carve. What I want to do is I want to create kind of the look of the side of a mountain. So I got this in this 9-inch pot, which is made out of plastic. Actually, it looks like terracotta though. And I have put some soil around it. This is just potting soil. I want to try to just sort of create a mountainside kind of look here with this floral foam. And then what I'll do is I'll cover it in moss and stones and that sort of thing. I think I'll use a spoon here and just try to carve out a little space for a house and just sort of start trying to bring it together here. Yep. There we go. So I could nestle a little house in there, and then maybe this is, to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever done this to create this kind of setting. But that's what it's about for me, is trying new things and sharing it with people so they can kind of open their horizons up a little bit. So I'm just sort of carving out little stairs here. It can be very rough because all of this is going to be covered in moss, and I don't even know if the stairs will be obvious once the moss is on there, because moss is kind of thick. Another thing I want to do is I have a stone here, kind of a big stone. I wouldn't mind sticking it in here somewhere. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut down a little bit, down there a little bit, cut this out here. Just have a place where that can sit sort of behind the house. The house will go right in here. So that will get us started, and we'll start wrapping this in moss. Okay, so I'm going to start laying on some moss here and just see how this goes. I get this moss around my house, and there's an abundance of it actually. This is where the little house is going. I want to just cover all of it in moss, because then I can lay stones on it and just make it look, hopefully, very natural. Now, it's probably a good idea to take some wire. This is just 18 gauge. I think it's 18 gauge wire. You can probably cut it with scissors like this. Cut off maybe 2 inches like that. So what we're doing here is we're making little staples to hold the moss into place on the set here, and on the display, or whatever you want to call it. And the best way to do it is to hold it to the back of something like a little paintbrush like this, and just wrap it sort of halfway around like that. And then you can just wherever it's, wherever it needs to be held down, you just stick this in there. Like that. And then you can, bring the moss up around it. Hopefully it won't stick out like a sore thumb too much. I would, probably use copper because it's less likely to shine, but it looks like it's going to shine anyway, so you can stick it in deeper. But we can work on that. The other thing you can do is later on you can come back with a dab of acrylic black paint and just touch it there. So I made several here actually. You just hold it in. You don't have to put a bunch in, just what you need. It's really a lot of fun to do little projects like this. Yeah, you can come back, just remember that a dab of acrylic paint, black paint on there, and that'll be the end of that. You won't see it again. Quickly make one, let you see that again. Just roll it around like that, kind of like a cane. Like that. I'll put one in there. There we go, we're kind of wrapped now. And these canes out of here. These staples. They're kind of like staples. You can buy staples like that. I like to make things that I'm going to be using for the things I do. My art projects. I'm very interested in, trying to be resourceful and that sort of thing. Okay, so we got a rock here. We just carved out, as you saw earlier, a little place for that, and that sits in there pretty nicely, actually. So next we're going to make in a little fairy adobe house. I wonder if I'm the first on that. Okay, we're going to switch gears here a little bit, and we're going to make a little fairy adobe house. I made a couple earlier this week that turned out really nice. They're not hard to make. This is white polymer clay, Sculpy 3, and the one thing you want to make sure is your hands are clean before you start using it, because it's really easy to get it dirty. I just want to make a really little house here. So I'm just going to roll this into a ball first to start off with. You do want to knead polymer clay before what they call conditioning, and it's just squeezing it like this over and over again until it becomes warm to the touch of your hands and very pliable. It just mixes up all the ingredients inside there. Okay, now once you got your ball, what you can do is you can hold your thumb on the front, your index finger here on the back, and your thumb on the bottom of your right hand, and your index finger on the top, and you can just squeeze gently, and then put your fingers, whatever fingers you want, on the left and right side of the house, and squeeze and just squeeze in a little bit, and it makes a nice little house basically. we have to do a little more work, but it works pretty well to do that. It's kind of like a little block. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paintbrush. I use this one all the time. This is a really good size. I don't use it a lot for this end, but I do use it for this end. And you can just lay it on where you want to put your door. So I'm going to put the door here. I'm going to press in, and then I'm going to roll it a little bit to form the door as I want to do it. Like that. And then you can also use the same paintbrush and just press into it like this to create a little window. This is going to be a really simple little house, but it's still going to be really neat. And the reason why is it's going to have a pole beam roof with moss on top. So it's going to be really cool. So for the pole beam roof, I've got some dowels here. These are 1/8 inch dowels, and I kind of stained them and made them look kind of rough and rustic looking. You can just use any kind of stain you want. And I've got actually a pair of toenail clippers here that I use a lot for wire cutters. And I want it to be from the back of the house. I want to stick out maybe about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch on the front, so it's really obvious that they're there. And when people look at it, they're going to say, oh cool, it's got like this pole roof. So you just can clip it like that, and then once you've got that basic measurement, you can go back, you can take and cut a few more. I'm holding, you notice I'm holding it like that so that one end doesn't go flying, but you got to watch out not to pinch yourself. It might be fairly easy to pinch yourself if you're not careful, if you hold it that way, but I don't want it to go flying. My little doggy is over there sleeping on the couch, and I don't want her getting hit by one of these poles. This is probably going to be enough right here. We'll do one more. Okay. And then what I would do maybe is starting in the center like that. Press it into place. And then create like a little star. You know, you're just going out from there. Like that. And maybe one more. And then one more on this side too. Now you can bake this. When you bake this later on, don't worry about that wood catching on fire or something. The oven just doesn't get hot enough. I have experimented with this a lot. With stones and shells and wood and all kinds of things, cooking polymer clay on it. It really is not a problem because the oven is only at 275 degrees. If it was a lot higher, it could definitely, you know, cause some damage, but otherwise it's probably not going to. I just want, you know, some of this got distorted when I was putting the poles on, so I'm going back and just touching it up. This is a fun part of the project. This is these are soft pastels, and they come in an array of colors. And if you're going to buy pastels to do finishes on polymer clay, you probably want to go ahead and get professional artist grade. And the reason why is because it has a lot more color in it, a lot more pigment in it than it would if it was a child's kind of thing, or somebody that wasn't really, you know, serious about what they were doing. So so just keep that in mind. professional artist grade is what you want to probably get. The pigment will be much stronger. Now, we want to create kind of an adobe color. So what I do, the way I do this is I take like a knife, or this is an X-Acto knife, and I scratch the surface like that to get some powder to come out. I'm going to put this down a little bit so you can see it on the table. It's good to have a little place where the powder can, you know, develop and pile up. And then you can take a paintbrush. See what we got here. This is a good brush for this. And you just paint it on. There might be it seems like there's a little metallic powder on here from an earlier project, but that's okay. The other thing you can do is you can do different colors. You don't have to do all the same color. You know, adobe and all brick and stone and all that, it's many different colors and shades and all that. So oops, I'll put that back on in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm just going around here and just dusting it. Might get a darker shade even, and scratch it. And then pick up the color. So I just want to go over it and kind of patina it and make it look kind of old. There's definitely some metallic color in there from an earlier project. Okay, just brushing it a lot, and I try to got a smaller brush here to go in the windows and the doors, and I did this color here for that, and it kind of just deepened it and made it look pretty cool. So we got that. It's probably a good idea to just get all sides of it. You know, just don't worry about, you know, mixing the colors. It's really good actually to mix the colors and just kind of get that old stone look like that. And then when you're ready to you'll bake it. You'll bake this in a 275-degree household oven for 15 minutes per quarter-inch of mass. So this house at its thickest point is probably nearly an inch thick. So that means you would cook this house for an hour. Okay, and you want to cook it on a ceramic plate that's polished, smooth, very smooth, not a textured plate, so it doesn't stick to it. And that's about that, and we'll be moving. Okay, I love this rock, but I think I'm going to trade it out for this rock. Let me raise this up so you can see that. This is a tree that I sculpted on a rock. I've got videos about this. I'll put some in the description part of the for this video. You actually can put moss on top for the foliage if you want. The thing is, you will need to water it quite a bit. It's very nice though. And then I'm going to take our little house here and put it right here. Just nestle it in there. And we can actually add a moss roof to that. So it's really fun. This is where it just becomes really interesting, and you can just take your time and make it look the way you want. I think the poles are really interesting, and I don't think I would leave them exposed somewhat anyways. Like that. And then you can get at a dollar store, you can get pebbles like this. And earlier I went through and I picked out the ones that are long like this to use as stairs for this little project. Hopefully it will work out. I just put them. If you push in against the moss like that, the floral foam is really pretty soft, and it may take some work, but you can get the stones to stay where you put them. And then you can just like make stones coming down, stone staircase. And then I found this piece of wood, and I have all kinds of pieces of wood and stuff that I pull out of the woods when I go out. And I'm just going to lay that in there like that, and I'm going to put some stones around here. Just lay them in there randomly around, try to add atmosphere to the work. I have these smaller stones too, just like put them in there like it's you know, a jumble of rocks fell down off the hill. I want to try to get some different moss on that, kind of spread it out and have the little tendrils of this moss has what looks like ferns in it, and just have the little tendrils coming down in between the poles and that sort of thing. So I'm about there. It's actually looking pretty good. So this is really a fun project, and you can go back and change things and move them around. As far as watering goes for this, you can use a mister. Got one right here. This is just an old glass cleaner bottle, spray bottle that I cleaned out and filled with water. And you can just mist it. And the tree, definitely the tree, that moss up there is going to dry out really fast and frequently. So you're gonna have to definitely keep that moist as possible. So that is how we do this little project. I had a lot of fun with it, and if you like this kind of content, this is the kind of along the lines of the things I do, videos I do on my my channel here. Please subscribe to my channel. please rate the video, let me know what you think of it, and comment in the comment section. And if you have an idea for a video that you'd like to see, put that in the comment section as well. I read all comments and usually reply to every one of them as well. I thank you for your support, thank you for watching, and have a great day.